afternoon, Quadcopter 101 here with a review of the HONGTAI F801W. Now the 801W, as you can see from having a smartphone here and from this particular camera on here with a 2.4 gigahertz FPV transmitter, means this is a Wi-Fi FPV quadcopter. In other words, this particular camera can transfer Wi-Fi video or video to my smartphone via Wi-Fi digital connection. Overall, you can fly FPV with this particular quadcopter. Now, the F801W is an upgraded version of the old HT F801 and F801Cs. The difference of this one is, I've tried it at home. The old F801s, if you would lose connection with the transmitter, they would tend to continue to fly, which is not a good thing. You know, you could have flyaway problems with the other versions of the F801. This one, I've tried it already, and it shuts itself down, and I'm going to demonstrate that first before you actually take off. It'll shut itself down before flying away. Now, I like the other version, F801 original versions, with the exception of the flyaway issue, in that they were very acrobatic. You could do barrel rolls very easily with the original F801. Very fast, very maneuverable quadcopters. I really like them. So I'm hoping that transferred to this one here, that they maintained the flight ability of the original F801 with the addition of this Wi-Fi camera added to it. Let's go over the quadcopter itself. Again, it seems to be a rebrand of the original F801, with the exception now it has Wi-Fi FPV. The battery for it is a generic 3.7 volt 750 milliamp hour battery with dimensions. Let's see if it has the dimensions listed on it. 95, 25, 40. So that's 9.5 millimeters thickness, 25 millimeters width, and 40 millimeters in length. 3.7 volt with red JST connector. Very generic battery. You can find these just about anywhere if you look around. AliExpress is a good spot. GearBest and Banggood should also carry these particular batteries, or batteries similar to this. And other than that, the camera is pointed toward the front, believe it or not, and the front of the F801s, a lot of people get confused, is the side with the battery door bay. So that is the front of it. That's not a mistake. Some people think the camera's on backwards. Other people have told me that their F801s would fly backwards. I just didn't know that. Yeah, this is the side with the battery door is the back, and the side with the light, or battery door is the front, and the side with the light is the back of this quadcopter. Keep that in mind, folks. Over the transmitter, let's go over that. It's your basic HONGTAI transmitter, which is a clone of the F801 transmit, or the CMAX 8C transmitters. It's similar, except these buttons are on the left-hand side instead of on the right-hand side. This button here is for flips. You know, that's unusual, because usually it's rate button over here, but this one here is the flip button, and then you can tell which direction to flip. And this is your rate button over here to select beginner, intermediate, expert. I believe it's just beginner and expert, to tell you the truth. These buttons here actually do work on this. They're not fake. This is for turning on the recording of the camera for the camera version. This is the Wi-Fi version. I'm not sure that will actually work. We will see. Hold on a second, folks. Now, I'm almost positive that's not going to work, since it's the Wi-Fi version, and there is no SD card slot in this camera. There's an empty slot here where an SD card would go in the C model version of this, but this is the Wi-Fi version, so this slot here does not support an SD card, and you're not able to record video directly to the camera or an SD card in the camera. All the video that is recorded is done through the HT Wi-Fi app, which is you can download for free for your phone here, and you will record the video directly to your phone. Unfortunately, it will be 640 by 480 pixel resolution, because it's coming via Wi-Fi. They have to lower the data stream over the Wi-Fi, so they do that by reducing the resolution of the video. So in effect, your camera buttons here and your photo and camera button that's these two buttons actually, are inoperative with this model. These buttons are for the F801C version. It does have one key return, which is that button, And it also has headless mode, which is that button. So 1 key return in headless mode. And there's a fake OK button in the center that's inoperative. It does nothing. The trim buttons are trim buttons for pitch, or for throttle and yaw and pitch and roll. So that is the transmitter. And again, the app that you use with the Wi-Fi version is called HT-Wi-Fi, and that is available on Google Play and iPhone. What is it? iTunes for Apple and Google. Okay, let's go for a flight. I am going to button up this quadcopter, and we'll point it in the direction of the north there as our headless mode direction, so we can demonstrate that right off. Headless mode flying of this quadcopter. And then a little later, I'm going to get my wife out of the car, and she's going to assist me as we do some Wi-Fi FPV flying of this quadcopter. So turning on the quadcopter and pointing it north, and turning on the transmitter and binding it to the quadcopter. And first thing I want to demonstrate is what happens when you turn off the transmitter. 1001, 1002, 1003. So it does shut down. The old F801s would not shut down. That would be an issue. This one will not fly away on you, in other words. It doesn't have Wi-Fi or flyaway issues. Okay, let's try 1 key return. First we'll fly it off, down the headless mode bearing, point it to the left just to show, and then hit 1 key return. Oh, and it flies backwards. So what I'm guessing is you have to be in headless mode for that to work properly. Go into headless mode. Is headless mode working properly? No. It thinks that's the headless mode bearing. Why is that? Let's land that for a second, folks. Actually, I'm not in. Left, right, we're landing it. Okay, let's pull it down, these both sticks down into an outboard and see if that resets the headless mode bearing. And I am going to go into headless mode, pressing this button here. No, I'm not in headless mode yet. Pressing it again. So, right. Okay, this is the new version of headless mode. It remembers the direction it was pointed when you activate headless mode, in other words. Let's check, or let's turn this around. And we're going to land it right there. And what I'm going to do is activate headless mode right from the start, before we even take off. Headless mode is activated. And now, that is the headless mode direction. So again, it remembers the direction it's pointed when you activate headless mode. Let's try that 1 key return now. And here it comes back toward us. 1 key return. Let's try that again, demonstrate it again. Going down here again, off in that direction of the headless mode bearing. 1 key return. And in general, it fights the wind. That's pretty cool. Let's try it again. The wind's coming from my right here, and that seemed to do a curved flight toward us. 1 key return, and it's coming back. One more demonstration of the 1 key return. We got quite a bit of wind here today, folks. Let's go to a higher rate. And one more 1 key return. And coming back. And I think I'm in headless mode. I want to come out of headless mode. Okay, let's try some FPV flying with this thing. On this windy, breezy day. I'm going to get my wife out of the car and have her help me with that part. Hold on, folks. Okay, I have Wi-Fi turned on. I have reception on my phone. I am going to attempt to fly FPV, solely FPV with this thing. So here we go. And I got a drop out there. Okay. Okay, it's breaking up. Switching to visual. Okay, back to FPV. You see how this breaks up with Wi-Fi? Wi-Fi is always an issue. Are we coming back toward us, hon? Or are we flying away? Are we coming back now? I think so, yeah. Well, we're pretty darn high, huh? I see us. So Wi-Fi FPV flying is kind of difficult. I'm not really a fan of it, but some people prefer it. Now the advantage of the Wi-Fi is that it's cheap. It's a cheap way to implement FPV flying. It's flying overhead me now. I can hear it. I can't see what I'm doing. I can't see it, but right now it freezes, then it starts, it freezes. That's why I'm not a real big fan. Going to the right now. Still flying FPV. I'm also using my ears to help me with this FPV, so I have a general idea where it's at from the sound. Okay, and hovering it. There's a town there, so I know that. Flying toward the mountains. No, I don't want to fly in that direction. That's the direction I want to fly. Up. Not toward the mountains. Is it coming toward us? Where's it at? Switching to visual, coming down. Wow. I have that much range on this thing? Holy moly. Okay, I'm in visual right now. I was a good... Holy moly. 150 meters away. 200 meters away. And had FPV, it was getting intermittent, but wow, I'm switching to visual right now, flying to bring it back in from way out there because the FPV was choppy. But the control range on this is surprisingly good. And the camera came off because it hit the ground there. But let me bring it in. Camera's dangling by a thread there. And the landing gear came off too because I did not screw them in. Let me plug that back in. But wow. Wow, that range was surprising. Let me plug this back in. Okay, I'm taking the cap back for my wife. I impacted the ground over there and my landing gear came off because I didn't tie them down. But I was very surprised at the range that I was getting with this quadcopter. It was very, very good range. I guess that was close to 200 meters away. The FPV range wasn't as good. I was losing FPV signal because I was flying out of range, but it was flying very well. Maintaining, even with the Wi-Fi signal, that it was maintaining control of the quadcopter. Let's see if there's any more power left in this to do some final flights with this. Yeah, there's still some. Let's go to high rate. Yeah, let's try some flips and rolls. See how it performs. Oh yeah, it's just like its predecessor. Very maneuverable. And you can do barrel rolls with it, just like the original F801. Good flyer. That's what I liked about the F801 was. Okay, no more power for flips right now. We're out of power for flips, but The F801s are very maneuverable quadcopters, very good flyers, and so is this one, as I can see. And there's the end of the power. So, overall thoughts, even with Wi-Fi on this, it doesn't affect the range very much. It's still a good long-distance flyer. I was surprised. I was way out in the desert there when I flew out of range with Wi-Fi on this, so I was close to 200 meters and still had control with this quadcopter, or with this transmitter. So the control range is very good with this. I like that. The FPV range was about 70 meters, I'm guessing there, and then it starts to get choppy. Overall maneuverability of this quadcopter is very similar to its predecessors. Very good flyer, good maneuverability. All in all thoughts, you know, if you're going for if you have to get a Wi-Fi flyer, this one's a good one, particularly with that range. So, and also they finally got rid of the problem with flyaways. This one does not have the flyaway issue. So overall, I give this one, since it is a Wi-Fi flyer, I give it about 3.5 stars. Hope you enjoyed this flight. This is Quadcopter 101, signing out with the HT F801W.